Hello and welcome back to this video series, which is all about giving you some ideas and things to think about if you want to grow your business and to create the kind of life that you believe is possible by having your own business. Now, if you've already built it to a stage where you're reasonably successful, then firstly, congratulations. And secondly, you should realize that you're actually quite a rare person to have achieved that. Most people don't have the guts or the inclination to start a business, and sadly, statistically speaking, most people who do fail. But if you've reached a certain stage already, then great, and you may want to grow it even further. But as you know, there's only 24 hours in any day, and so you don't have more capacity, more time yourself in order to grow that. Chances are that if you've also got staff, they're a cause of even more work for you. So it may seem like you've reached a ceiling and you can't get any bigger. If that does describe you, then you have to know you're not alone. There's lots of people, lots of companies that are operating and experiencing that situation. But you can also be reassured there's a very well understood solution to get through that barrier, and that's actually one of the things we specialize in helping our clients. But let's look at the problem and understand why that arises. Now, let's look at a one-man band type of operation. Typically, that kind of business, that operation is going to be very flexible, possibly quite cheap, but they'll do anything that's necessary to run the business. If you take a slightly bigger more than a one-man band, so take a small business person, the chances are that type of operation is really run by the owner, and they've got a few staff, but they're really extensions to the owner's arms and legs. So it's really the owner that's running the show. And then you look at larger businesses, and they're typically run by management teams, and they're organised into departments, each with specific objectives and so on. And they run very differently. Well, it's a bit like think about how a child grows up, and it goes from being a baby to a toddler to an infant, and then at the teenage years, and finally adulthood. But that's not a smooth transition. That's not very straightforward. There are many stumbles along the way as you go through each of the stages, and the same is true within business. And actually, many businesses, especially ones with staff, are a bit like pubescent teenagers. You know, they have real challenges for their parents. It can be quite difficult to manage something that's trying to run away and behave in a way that you don't really want it to happen. So it's tempting. If that's the way that your business is operating, it might be tempting to say, well, let's run it like a larger business. But if you go back to the child analogy, that's really like saying, let's put adult clothes onto a teenager. And if you just put adult clothes onto a child, they're not going to behave any differently. They're still a child underneath. So running a smaller organisation as if it was a bigger organisation is also completely inappropriate to do. But there are ways to overcome that. The other challenge that you're facing is that, of course, the staff that you have, if you have staff, are adults, and most adults are actually programmed to resist change. And there's lots of good biological and evolutionary reasons why that's the case, but it is the case. So people are resistant to change. They don't want to change. But in order to grow your business, you know that you're going to need to create change. So there's all the reasons, or many of the reasons, and some of the symptoms that you might be experiencing in your business. And so if that is your situation, then definitely you're not alone. And what you can do is to have a time of reflection and think about what is the way that your company is working. How is it operating? Is it operating in a way that is going to be encouraging and nurturing the team to think for themselves and to think as a collective? Or is it all relying on the founder and the owner to have all of the ideas and to marshal all the troops, coordinate all the activities? The first step to freeing up time is about understanding how things are operating at the moment, and then putting the steps in place to be able to get other people to think and take responsibility, and you've got to nurture that capability within them and build that skill. There's not time in this video now to go into how to do that. We can do that in another video, or of course you can contact us. And if you'd like to know more about how to do that, then please feel free to subscribe to this channel, and you'll find other videos about with ideas of how to grow business. Like the Facebook page, go have a look at our website. There's some free information on there, and there's various tools and techniques that we can share with you. So I hope you found that useful and interesting. Thought-provoking. It's all about understanding how it is that you're working and thinking about the next stage of development. And if that's useful, then I very much look forward to seeing you in the next video.